Nope, that didn't do it. Ugh. I'm tired, guys. You won't know this because I filmed ahead, but I was out of town this weekend, and 2 of the days this week I had to get up at 4 in the morning, not in the afternoon. Although some days I wanted to sleep until 4. You know, I've been kind of missing talking about myths this month, and I have a couple videos planned where I do talk about them, because of course I do. I thought, just now, because I was like, what can I do real quick? Let's look up a random myth in my big book of myths. It's not that big. This is a myth encyclopedia I got, and it's kind of where the basis of all my myth videos start, because it gets really short and succinct versions of myths and descriptions of mythological characters, and even if I already know the myth and mythological characters, reading these is a good place to start. I opened to myths and legends of the Greeks, which I'm gonna leave now because that's boring. I talk about those a lot. Oh, let's do India. I didn't talk about India last time. Oh, this is why I didn't, because I can't pronounce anything. Sakuntala. So Sakuntala, the Magnificent, play by India's greatest early poet. Oh, I've heard about this. Yeah, which has been produced from time to time in our own day. Tells the story of the beautiful maiden Sakuntala and King Doshinyatan. I give up. Their love, their marriage, and the birth of their son, the great hero Bharata. It is from Bharata that the Mahabharata takes its name. And the Mahabharata is, at my understanding, basically like kind of the Odyssey or the Iliad of Indian mythology. It is the big deal in terms of Indian mythology. Okay, so I just read it through, and this is kind of a familiar story, very like fairy tale-esque, and it's basically about this woman who has been adopted by a sage and is growing up off in the woods. And then a king who is out in the woods one day sees her, and they fall for each other, and he gives her a ring and promises to marry her, but he has to go back to the capital. My phone just went off. I apologize. I am too tired for professionalism. But she accidentally pisses off another sage who curses her into having her husband forget about her. She goes on the trip to the capital anyway because she is pregnant with the king's son. She goes into a pool to bathe and loses the ring, which kind of solidifies the curse. She gets to the king. He does not remember her. She is in labor and gets kicked out of the castle and gives birth to this big hero of Indian mythology. But later, a fisherman fishes up the ring, and when he shows it to some people, they believe that he had stolen it. So they take him to the king to stand trial. The king sees it and then remembers his promise, and so the story ends happily ever after. It does not say what happens to the fisherman, though, so I'm just gonna hope that things end well for him. Obviously, having just read this myth and not having much context in Indian mythology, I can't give quite a deep analysis of it, but what I find interesting is I feel like we see a lot of tropes from this story and other stories in Western mythology and Western folklore and fairy tales. I think largely that's because all myths kind of resemble each other. They reflect each other, which is cool and shows how storytelling traditions and priorities may differ in different parts of the world, but there's still a lot of common ground. But anyway, I have to go, so I will see y'all tomorrow with a real video, which will be good. Bye.